You're just speaking about bird flu. Now it's time to talk about some other birds.
Yeah. It's time for our Sick of the Week. Sick of the Week. They're coming for your peeps. I'm, of course, talking about red dye number 3 ban that was announced a couple weeks ago. So red dye number 3 has actually been banned in all cosmetics and topical medications since 1990, but was still permitted to be in food and ingested drugs until the ban was announced on January 15th of 2025. So let's talk about the background on why it could be banned from one thing, but not from the other, okay? First and foremost, I want to be clear, red dye 3 has not been shown to cause cancer in humans. The reason it was banned in 1990 and now today is because of something called the Delaney Clause in the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act. This clause says that the FDA cannot approve an additive if it has been found to cause cancer in humans or rats. In this case, studies in the 80s showed that feeding high doses of red dye 3 to rats caused some male rats to develop thyroid tumors, but it has not been shown to do the same in humans, and it is widely agreed that the pathways that cause the tumor growth in rats is not applicable to humans, even theoretically. Also, the rats were fed such a high amount of red dye, you would have a hard time consuming the same amount for your body weight. But even still, because of the rat cancer, it is a no-go, not allowed. This is also why red dye 40 is not part of this conversation. While there is mixed evidence about red dye 40 contributing to attention issues in children, it has not been shown to cause cancer in humans or rats, so it cannot be banned under the Delaney Clause. So why has it been allowed to be eaten but not rubbed on skin? A couple of factors are in play here. One is that it was put on the list of additives generally considered safe before the studies in rats occurred. How can you consider something safe without actually doing rigorous testing on it, you might be asking yourself. The answer to that is that standards were pretty lax in the early 1900s when red dye 3 first came to market. The list of generally considered safe additives is different for food versus topical items. So they get reviewed for each of those lists separately. So the timeline goes like this. Red 3 has been approved for the use in food before studies found it could cause cancer in rats. Those rat studies then happened before it was able to be reviewed for the list of OK items for topical application. So because they had the rat studies demonstrating the potential for cancer, again, in rats, when they reviewed its safety for the list of topical applications, it was denied. Now, you might be wondering, why not just take it off the approved list for foods once they got those rat studies? And the answer is basically capitalism. In 1990, the FDA was actually planning to remove red 3 from the list of OK for foods. But interest groups who represent fruit farmers made a fuss about it, saying that cherries used in fruit cocktails needed to be dyed bright red or people would not eat them and it would hurt the farmers' income. Europe banned red 3 from everything in 1994 with an exception for maraschino cherries. Big fruit salad is incredibly powerful. The FDA dropped it. And for the last 35 years, red dye 3 has been used in many candies and drinks. A petition in 2022 reopened the door to remove the dye, and this time it appears to be working with no pushback from the food industry. So, what makes this worthy of being Sick of the Week? Well, because it means I get to talk about the importance of regulation yet again. Last September, the FDA presented a plan to start a program to review common additives for safety so that we don't have more instances of something that should be banned getting a pass based on historical use. They asked for $19 million to get started, and Congress said no. Like any government agency, the FDA isn't perfect, but if you don't fund an organization that's tasked with ensuring safety, you can't get mad at that organization for not being able to ensure the safety of items. Regulation means you can have confidence in the things you consume. So, for Sick of the Week, I'm giving it to approaching criticism of regulatory agencies with curiosity regarding if maybe there are other factors at play.